we see some very targeted bans to make sure it's not a rinse and repeat of Game 1.
Yeah, please no rinse and repeat. It probably will be. A lot of the Game 1 bans were targets. We do see Wolaris is Orianna. The other side, Maokai being banned first pick on blue side, so they are respecting Swaith and Peprise to pick that one up. We do see the target ban Tristana at Rain that we were talking about.
Is it respect to the top laners, or is it just anyone can play Maokai?
I think
I think we need to get rid of it.
Well. He's OP. He's OP.
I mean, it's too much value.
The only reason I say that is LCK, they don't ban it. They let it go. They let it actually fly through the pick ban phase until second rotation. So, I mean, I'm not going to argue with LCK, but they have had questionable pick ban. They do pick quite...
You're arguing with
LCK champions, but it definitely has shown great success in OCS and OPL.
There we go, gents. There's the Cogmore not giving it over to Abyss Academy for that first pick, but Twitch is still available. Let's see how far it makes it, or if it even goes through whatsoever. But what are we seeing that stands out as a first pick?
Sejuani should probably be the first pick here.
Or not.
Or not. The Rek'Sai. The Rek'Sai was untouched last series. I mean, last game. It may just be a comfort pick. They have lost their first game, which is okay. Rek'Sai is quite relevant. He's still a tank, so he can be played because it is tank meta.
He can be played.
Yeah,
but I think Scam Diggity will be more than comfortable picking up the champion he just played in Game 1 and had very good performance on.
Yeah, I think with the idea of going for that Rek'Sai early means they probably do expect a Sejuani in response, especially because, like you said, Scam did have a decent time playing with it as well. And it comes down to him saying, all right, well, what's going to be something that I can actually play against that? It's going to be effective, probably the better pick that I don't need to worry about. Scam is also very good on Rek'Sai, so they might have decided to say, we'll do a double take on this. It's good against Sejuani. It's also taking off one of Scam's options, and it gives us a lot of value just to have this first picked.
I'm curious as if we're going to see a Draven here.
Not sure.
You did talk about KO's Draven.
Rain's Draven, though.
Rain's
Close
Draven.
enough. Close enough.
KO's actually a Kalista player.
Oh my gosh.
But we just see the
Xayah Rakan
is a
would
dirty
be a
lane.
great pick into Janna Kalista.
The dirty lane. You wanted to see the Kalista, you got the Kalista. We were talking about the Xayah. We got the Xayah, and we got the added extra of Kuden playing 2 games in a row on his Rakan.
And we will see probably a jungle pick here. If they don't, then there will be a lot of bans coming out into jungle, which will limit Scam Diggity's champion pool. We do see the Jarvan, so that is going to be a flex. Curse does play the Jarvan top lane. I do like that. That means that the Sejuani may get bans from Abyss Academy right now.
We're coming into the second ban phase. Outlaws.
Wow.
Yeah, there we go. So makes its way round to the second rotation. I mean, let's be honest, it was the biggest point of Abyss Academy last game. You know, KO did pop off, but he didn't get to that level of the Twitch hitting 4 members and deleting every single one of them.
I still feel like it's a bit of a wasted ban, because I know you mentioned before that Rek'Sai, definitely can be a tank in her own right. With the recent changes that happened to her, she's still not a pure tank when it comes to that late game. That's the big thing that we need to take into account here. So you would probably want to have a beefier top laner to make up for the fact that you don't have this massive front line anymore, which they did have in the last game, which was actually going to be a Galio and a J4. Now it's not going to be as beefy.
I think Abyss Academy here probably have to get rid of maybe another top laner. That seems like it's the
I think we might
trend.
see a Lucian ban here.
But Outlaws still have that flex. So, I mean, at the moment, there are a lot of opportunities. They get rid of the Kassadin. Lucian is still open, available for Alaris wants to pick that one again.
I think we might actually see a Vladimir come out of Valaris.
Yeah.
I think that would be a fantastic pick for him to go in. You have a lot of engage on the side of Abyss Academy. The fact that he has it means he can get out. Outlaws already also have a lot of engage, so he's going to be able to get into those team fights as well. So it makes sense for him to actually pick that up, get a nice big hero play that we had before. We know Valaris likes to have that sort of aspect of gameplay in. I think that's probably going to be in the top lane.
I mean, that's for flex again, right?
It's a double flex.
Double
Jarvan
flex.
jungle, Cho'Gath jungle. Papyrus is going to have to blind pick his top laner here. Does he play Fiora?
Yes.
He does.
Yes,
he
has
has
in the past.
dabbled in it.
I would not mind to see a Fiora coming out here.
I mean, it works for his playstyle. We saw how good he was last game on a carry-style top laner. One that got ahead so early. Frey is going to be picking up the Victor, but no way. Are we actually going to see the return of Trundle?
No, Trundle's definitely a very good pick in tank meta. You're able to shred those stats. In a team fight, you just press R on the front line.
Yep.
That guy will fall down a lot faster. as well as Trundle will get a lot tankier. It will be the Trundle.
The return of Papraz Trundle, I should say. This guy used to play Nautilus top back in the day.
He
used to play Trundle top as well for a brief stint. And he's going to lock that one in. Right now, the composition from Abyss Academy is looking very different from last game.
And what I like about actually the Trundle coming out for Abyss Academy is that idea that you've already got 2 tanks on Outlaws. Possibly they could even go for a 3rd tank as well if they decide to put the Cho'Gath in the mid lane and actually pick up another tank in response.
Is that a thing? Does Cho'Gath go mid?
That could be, yeah, it totally is a thing that could happen.
It can be a thing. Yeah, it'll probably be the Lucian mid. I was about to say I was hoping for the Vladimir just because Vladimir does alright into Victor and will be very relevant going into the late game. But Lucian is the comfort pick. Willaris did show the 2v1 outplay, a lot of proficiency. I see this guy play this champion quite a lot in solo queue. They are going to be looking for that double 80 carry. Team fight again with this backline is such a threat.
And it does make sense for him to move towards an AD threat as well. We mentioned before if there's a lot of tanks on your side, it's great to have the role that actually kills them specifically. But at the same time, you've also managed to pick up the Cho'Gath. You have enough of an AP threat, especially towards that late game, as he does manage to build up that magic damage and that true damage, that it's fine for you to go towards the Lucian in this situation. It's not like you're putting yourself into an item trap.
If you were to ask me who's draft or who do I think would win this game, I would say Abyss. I think Xayah Rakan is too strong of a bot lane, as well as Trundle into Cho'Gath. I see just falls too much into the favor of the Trundle. Trundle will be too much of an issue for the Cho'Gath to deal with. And also, this mid lane matchup, they did get counterpick. Outlaws did have counterpick, but Victor is so flexible. And this matchup, he does take an Ignite, which is quite bold. But he really needs to make this mid lane matchup fall in his favor because this Victor-Rakan combo is going to be an issue coming into mid game.
He did have the Ignite last game. We did see how he was able to make that work in that 2v1 outplay. So it is something that Willaris has already tried and tested for us. Has got that blue chroma as well. I think that's Ejim's favorite one as well. So I think he's got
and his skins. every time I hear that guy's voice, skins pop up. And he plays that really weird Lulu chroma skin.
Which one is that?
I don't know. It's just like
I know what you're talking about.
It just makes you. It just sort of
it's
throws you off.
I think it's pool party chroma, but I don't know. Like he pulls out skins that you didn't even know existed.
Well, in game number 2, our questions lie
hipsters
to
in League of Legends.
Whether the chromas will
the
help
Ejim
Outlaws
wardrobe.
I mean, this is what I like about OCS as well. Simple skins, nothing special. We're here to play League of Legends.
You know, they have the option to do it as well.
Oh, great Trundle skin. Good choice.
That's the one I got. It's
a lot of people opt to choose for the baseball bat because, I mean, you're whacking.
Little slugger.
Yeah, you're whacking, but...
No. You go for the...
Gentleman's Cho'Gath.
You go for the traffic cone one. Is that skin?
That's
no. That's...
No, that's the officer.
Officer Trundle?
Officer Trundle's the traffic cone.
Curse has got the best skin. You're right, Choose. That is... Gentleman Cho'Gath is the bee's knees. In game number 2, gents, Outlaws have drafted, relatively more similar than Abyss. Abyss have just gone total opposite direction here. The Xayah Rakan bottom lane and the Victor mid. Right now I'm seeing their intentions and I'm saying that Swaith is going to pay a lot of attention towards the bottom lane. Do you think that's fair or do you think he'll be more in the mid side?
I reckon it's still going to be on the mid side. You've got a little disengage in the bot lanes, so it's going to be hard for them to gank. As you can see, Willaris is being really aggressive against Frey, and that sort of puts a bit of a beacon on him to get those ganks in place, because Frey's going to be saying, hey man, I'm suffering here, give me some aid.
This is expected though. You have to respect the Ignite coming out of Willaris, but this lane will slowly fall in Frey's flavor. Flavor.
No, you're right. Flavor Frey. You're exactly right. It's his flavor.
And we will see if he is able to get Augment 1 on his first back, he will have a much easier time in this lane. As we do see, again, a lot of early pressure put onto this mid lane.
But Willaris has a relentless pursuit first, so he should be fine unless there's a flash unburrow from Swaith. We saw how the gank went last game, and there was a lot of commitment from the jungler. Swaith now going topside.
Swaith's just looking for where the pressure is, and I think he will go for this.
Curse in a bit of trouble. Flashes and ruptures. It's a great rupture from Curse. That's going to keep him alive.
Yeah, I think the big problem with that gank there was though the cone is nice and it does put the slowdown, it didn't actually knock Curse back just that little bit, adding on a little bit more CC on top of it.
That was first blood. Trundle had flash. You could see how low the Shogath got.
Very well played from Scam Diggity, making sure he doesn't get pulled out by Tremor Sense. The teleport to come through, Curse goes straight in.
Oh, the blast cone.
And that is going to force Sway to either back or add some pressure to the top side.
This is a really nice play, despite them not securing first blood. This means Shogath doesn't have the flash ready. If Trundle does get into that kill range, does reduce the Cho's health to where he can all in, he can flash the Rupture. And that will secure a solo kill.
What I do like about this, you can see they managed to force him out because of it, and then because there was the teleport used with the flag and drag, they're already going for an early gank onto Paprise. This could be brutal.
Then level 3, Paprise has just hit 4. Curse is taking turret aggro.
No flash
Curse,
that was
what are
a
you
mistake.
doing? Scam will start taking turret aggro.
Oh, that was really bad
yeah.
from Curse. He went a little too early.
Way too early.
Jinx.
Yeah, Jinx. I mean, Curse auto attacked before his teammates were even there. Very questionable play coming out of the Outlaws top laner, and we do see Victor is relieved a lot of pressure. Lucian does get the kill, but this Victor free farming in the mid lane.
Yeah, I was about to give a lot of praise out to Outlaws. The fact that they were able to use Curse's teleport very creatively with the flag and drag, force Swaif out of jungle because immediately Scam had no fear, just jumping straight onto him and forcing him out. And then to get the blue buff as well, just seemed like the icing on the cake, but everything fell apart afterwards. And now it's engaged in bot lane.
Kuden and KO have a very strong level 4 here. We know that DPS from the Zyra Khan is going to do exactly that. Now Outlaws bottom lane starting to look a little bit weak at the knees as Rain has used his heal.
Unfortunately, Cleanse won't do too much into that knockoff coming out of
Cleanse,
Rakan.
that's right.
We do see the Ninja Tab I picked up from Victor, so he will. I think that will pretty much ensure that he won't get solo killed, or will at least help out in the trading. But he will be looking for his Augment 1, which will be what he's trying to aim for, but he doesn't have blue buff, which is a very big thing you need on Victor these days. He has such hungry mana from his spells, 110 from his death ray, but quite even trading.
Yeah, he's doing a good job of making sure he can get those hits off, and it is due to the fact that he managed to pick up that extra CS before. The gold coming through from for Valaris will definitely help him out, but I think Frey is in an absolutely fine position. And you can see he's actually opted in for that Ninja Tabby as well, which is going to relieve a lot of damage and a lot of pressure from Valaris.
Curse
This should
getting
be a
bullied once again. Underneath the turret, Curse has nowhere to go. Going to be silenced down, and very well played from Biz Academy for a second death on the Cho'Gath.
I mean, this is what you do. This is very good play out of Abyss, punishing the Cho'Gath for not having flash, for being very far behind, and this will probably be tier 1 first blood tower going to Trundle.
Yeah, they're doing a bigger response though from Outlaws. You can see Scam is here, and you also have Valaris coming up. Let's see if they can actually make this work.
But the pillar will stop them once again, and it'll simply be to 1/4 health. That turret took a beating in that trade.
This is the win condition, as we're talking about. Top lane is the hotspot in this series, and this Trundle is going to be their win condition. Paprise was playing the Jax last game. He's now on the Trundle versus the Cho'Gath, which is a much easier champion to punish than the Shen, who has the taunt and the flex from his W. But this we'll definitely see a lot more attention coming to this top lane from Swaith.
Yeah, I do like how they've managed to punish him as well. They understood, yep, I've got my level 6, he's still level 5. I can easily tank this turret up, getting that extra HP back from my enemy that I'm killing at this point. So a good dive coming through. Paprise once again is going to have a fantastic landing phase.
I think until this Cho'Gath is able to get Ninja Tab by, he's going to take a beating from this Trundle. Trundle has finished the tier mat. He will be able to push this away very quickly. We will see top tower first blood probably very soon.
Curse hasn't had the best start of this series. I mean, both of these early games, he has been punished and punished time and time again. Curse will now have level 6, so hopefully the HP stacking will come through. He'll build up a little bit of resistance against Paprise, but like you said, he's not going to go well until he gets that Ninja Tabo.
I think it's just a bit unfair to basically say, yeah, Curse, you're having a bad game. What's going on? It's finals. This is where you should be showing up. I really look at the drafts that Outlaws have put into play, and I feel like they've thrown him a little bit under the bus. Last game, they did give him a little bit, they gave him a late pickup when they went for it. You could see that Abyss Academy have really placed a lot of emphasis in making sure they can keep Curse down, especially with the ganks that came through before. Yes, it was a bad play early, but he was able to hold out in the last game. Let's see if he can do it again this time.
You can see Scam Diggity trying to ensure that his top laner is okay, doesn't get put under too much threat. But I do want to go back to your point on Curse has, and we do talk about him being such a great top laner, having such a great semi-final performance. But we do see some good trading coming through.
Actually using the Fate's Call, gets 2-man knock-up. But they're not going to follow it through any
big Rend,
further.
hopefully. I hope it's a big Rend.
Oh yeah, bit of damage. Rain actually ahead by 20 CS in this bottom lane, even after getting bullied out.
I would expect after them using so many cooldowns and all their mana, they will be going for a back. And this was something that we expected to happen.
Oh, Rek'Sai does take
Greedy.
half of that first blood tower, which would have been very good on the Trundle's solo gold. But regardless, first brick going to Abyss Academy.
Scam has found Swaith in his own jungle once again. Swaith ambitiously trying to deny as much as he can from Scam Diggity. And the top side of the map for Outlaws right now really getting pushed in. Some wards getting dropped as well.
They are pushing him quite heavily now into this lane. I would have expected it back a little earlier. So this bot lane is not holding any punches. And I do like what Swaith is doing. I wouldn't say he was being greedy when he started to move into that top lane. It was more about securing Paprise. He knows Paprise is going to have a big advantage. He's putting those wards down. Scam Diggity won't be able to actually find a gank because of it.
Outlaws bottom lane.
Sneaky.
Waiting for KO and Kuden to push this wave out. Now they press the go button. KO has the Featherstorm, uses it, but the Blade Caller is not going to hit anyone. Rain goes very deep. The Ignite's there. The heal gets nothing. And Kuden will finish the kill off with Paprise chasing what's left.
What a questionable play coming out of Outlaws. I mean, they waited for the minion wave to die. They ended up tanking 6 creeps. We saw the Ignite coming out of Kuden. I mean, it was a very questionable play coming out of Outlaws, and it does punish them.
The other thing you have to take into account, both top laners had their teleports available. You didn't really have that deep ward for Curse to actually get in there. Might have been better if Curse was actually there a little bit earlier. And now you can already see the effects of this coming through. Abyss Academy going to a good lead.
But the fact that this opens up the Infernal Drake, 5 members down in the bottom. Right now, Outlaws should not be down here. And Scam burns the summoner because of it. Willaris is getting engaged on as well. Tries to pick the kill up, but flashes out. Swaith will die to the burn. So both junglers traded, but the Infernal and that other kill.
And it really comes down to if this Trundle is able to get back top and catch that minion wave, that is a big net game win coming from Abyss Academy.
And now it's going to be even more annoying as well, because if he will be able to probably get there in time. Actually, no, he won't. Definitely won't. They actually gave up the dragon for it.
In fact, it's already on the tower,
yes.
so he won't.
So he definitely won't. I thought he had more than enough time. As you can see, the question mark ping is going down on the minimap right now. They're basically saying, Mendrix, look, it's dying. What are you talking about?
Can I just say that even after losing in that bottom lane, Rain, or not even losing, but dying, you can see that Rain is still ahead. CS being picked up by this Kalista Janna is still working out for them. They're going to get this turret.
It's just a good laning phase, and they are going to get a really nice counter push.
But it really does make it questionable again why they decided to go for that engage. You have this big advantage in terms of the minions that you've managed to procure. Why not go back, secure that lead, then come back and you take advantage of it? Instead, they just give it away by getting the kill. Kuden wants to make sure he can stop that back nice and easy.
That was worth.
It is very worth. They know that Rain and K-pop want to recall, and they are starting up the Rift Herald on the other side of the map. Cho'Gath has been switched down to the bottom lane, so they do want to put close to Janna to try and get the tier 1 top tower. But I would argue that tempo advantage is in Abyss's favor, as they already secured first brick a long time ago.
No. Scam, what are you doing? Just walks into the pit. He's going to get knocked out by 2 people. Scam, Dragon Flags out. He's going to leave the Rift Herald. Good rotation from Outlaws, however. And for some reason, Scam goes back in and it costs his life. Willaris will use the culling and take the Chaos Storm damage as well. Rain very ambitiously, but very well done to secure a trade.
But when you look at this, Abyss Academy are still getting the net wins there. Still trade of kills. They still managed to pick up the Rift Herald as well. I did like the idea of actually swapping Cho'Gath down into the bot lane. Paprise typically didn't have the momentum there ready to go. And it makes sense that they can make that move up there. They'll be able to deal with the Trundle easier and also give Curse a chance to catch up. But again, they mismanaged that play. Scam Diggity went just a little bit too early, and Abyss Academy well and truly in the driver's seat still.
Yeah, this game is definitely a lot faster than game 1. We do see the first item power spikes are starting to come out. Lucian has picked up Blade of the Rune King, and Victor is looking to go for the early Zhonyas, which is not a bad pick into Jarvan and double 80 carry. But Kalista still seems to be probably quite close now. He's CSing quite well. We'll be getting his Blade of the Rune King as well, and they will probably be looking for an early team fight with that early power spike.
Yeah, but we're still neck and neck again. It is the 13-minute mark. I like that you point out the game does feel a lot quicker, and you don't have 80 carries that at the 40-minute mark are just going to... They're still going to pop off, but they're not going to be Cogmores. They're not going to be Twitches.
No more Gentleman's Agreement.
No, you got the Xayah. You got the Kalista. And it's going to be all about positioning in these fights. I mean, we know that Xayah in small spaces works fantastically. We know that fights in those chokes work great for the Featherstorm and the Blade Caller combination. And this composition right now that Abyss Academy have put together in those jungle fights, in those really small spaces, there's going to be so much that they can play with.
I mean, when I really look at these compositions, Abyss Academy just seem to have the clear advantage when it gets into that late game.
I agree.
I mean, Victor, we know how much of a monster he can be, has that control in place, and those ADCs won't be able to be as nimble and as advantageous around the map to get the damage out that they need to. They need to be standing still. Rain, not so much, but Olaris definitely needs to be standing still to a bit. And now is a big engagement in the bot.
That pillar did not work whatsoever. The culling is hitting full onto Paprise. He flashes, but he will go down here. Great rupture. Willaris with his third kill.
Willaris is very good on this Lucian. We can see that he's able to utilize the Ignite Summoner really well. He's picked it up both games, secured kills for both of them. I'm very impressed with this pick. It's not something you really see too much. Faker did bring it out and did crush Crown with it.
Fate's call again. Meanwhile, Abyss Academy continuing to kite back. Scam Diggity forces the engage. Really good for Outlaws again. The cleanse used a little bit late from Rain. He will follow up.
Nice.
Stayed way too long. KO heals. The Ren not enough, but it would have been.
What a great play coming out of Rain.
It's still going.
There is a collapse coming from Abyss.
Teleport, the flash forward with the unburrow. Outlaws are in a small space and Abyss Academy love it, but they're still going down because there's so much freedom. Rain hits the dirt. KO's not in the fight. He's hanging back. Paprise picks up the support, but Abyss Academy do not want to continue this fight because Willaris is a monster right now.
Willaris on the Lucian is definitely a threat. He's 4-0-1, CSing nearly to the clock. It will secure them the first team fight, I guess, win of this game, and it will give them tier 1 tower top lane.
I really like how Outlaws actually played that. They had great chase, they had the move in place. Abyss Academy tried to go for the response, but when you've already lost an engage, and these teams are making sure they're at the right place, at the right time, you can see how Outlaws have managed to claw themselves back into this game. I really like KO's ability to chase them down. Was a bit of a feels bad moment for Scam Diggity when he did use his Cataclysm, and KO and Kudin were like, see you later, we've got abilities to jump over walls. But that damage is going to be absolutely insane in the late game, and the utility that Scam Diggity brings is something we cannot count out. And you can really see, so here's the feels bad moment I was talking about. 1 and 2, they get away, but Rain is just able to chase down so well. Really, really good cleanse on that stun that KO put down afterwards means that Rain's able to secure that kill. And it just continues from there.
I mean, we do see the collapse coming through. It does look all good and well. Frey does get jumped on with the Cataclysm, with a Dragon Flag. Cho'Gath is able to follow up with the Rupture, and here comes Willaris. The job has pretty much been done for him. He's just able to get a free kill here on Papirize. But, I mean, we do see that Abyss are trying to make proactive plays, but as you mentioned, they have the scaling composition. They can slow things down a bit. This Lucian is having such a strong early game.
Outlaws continuing forward. KO actually going to be done by Curse here, who's continuing to 1v2. Quickness comes out and rooted down.
Oh, Willaris is going to punish them for trying to go for that.
Oh, flashes forward, perfectly done. The Featherstorm. Willaris really outplaying in this series, and you can show there with the 5-kill Lucian.
I mean, this guy's definitely performs a lot better than his semi-final performance.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's
I mean, he performed well in his semi-finals, but this is a level.
I mean, I said, like, he's performing better, and you all disagreed with me, so...
I mean, it's not. I reckon
we're not saying that he's bad, but he's definitely having
just Mendrix.
He's definitely having a great standout performance.
Throw me under the bus, why don't you?
So will.
You can tell he's having a standout performance, and I feel it's because they've managed to unlock him. I mean, typically the priority they had on him before was Orianna. The idea of going for that more control utility mage, likes to sit back and farm a lot.
But he was still good on the Orianna. Like, he was still unlocked, but this is a very different playstyle.
Well, that's the big thing I like about it, and I love it because it shows the versatility from Willaris, the ability for him to say, yeah, I will be able to play this different style effectively. It does throw a little bit of a hinge as well against Frey, who's more used against those traditional styles of mid. I know Lucian had a little bit of a moment before in the previous games where he fell off. Now he's coming back with a vengeance, and here's a team fight.
Quickness has been used again. Outlaws only have 3 members here, but I guess the gravity field will slow Curse down. Abyss Academy rotate 4 mid. Get nothing for the engage. Outlaws still sit ahead by 2k.
And now we're starting to see the Lucian in the side lane. And who can deal with this Lucian? No one can
right
really
now,
deal
no
with
one
this.
can.
No one can really deal with this Lucian. Not the Trundle. He's probably very close to the Black Cleaver. We can see that they're doing a nice 4-1. This mid lane tower is being poked down slowly. They will probably get it not this way. They'll probably get it next way, but this Lucian is drawing 2 people to him every time a wave comes to collapse. And we can see that top lane tier 2 tower is very low.
Yeah, and you really need to make sure Trundle, who may be the only person that can deal with the Lucian, is where the Cho'Gath is. We saw how strong Curse is and how much he's able to tank up, even after the damage he's been taking out throughout this game. They need someone there to shred his stats, and that has to be Paprise. And Willaris is going crazy.
And KO has to use the ultimate if Lucian goes forward, forced out. Willaris controlling this map for Outlaws.
I think KO was praying that Willaris didn't have flash. Probably times it very well why he didn't use any of his own summoners, just the ultimate there. But I mean, this is the win condition from Outlaws. This Lucian is so far ahead and is becoming such a threat. He is rotating to the mid lane, and this will be the second skirmish of the game.
And again, forcing the engage, but Willaris is on the backside. Outlaws have collapsed on Abyss Academy, and it's a fight they don't want, but Willaris tanking turret. You have to take down the structure in time. He lives. Outlaws continuing the fight. They're not done just yet. Look at all the rend into Paprise. He gets deleted off a Summoner's Rift, and Outlaws continue to impress us with a massive 2 kills.
I mean, that was a close prey seeker. Willaris almost went down.
Yes. I mean, what a really well-coordinated play coming out of Outlaws. They do realize that Willaris will fall to the tower. Let's not give this 5-0 spree over. They all hit the tower, immediately turn over and destroy this tower. Willaris lives. They get tier 1 tower. They secure 2 kills, and now they're sitting at a 5k gold lead.
I really like how they managed to do that because they forced out KO earlier. This allows them to actually get in behind them and force this play. You can say they go, sweet, good, we're going to have this point at a KO. Just comes in now, but it's too late. She needed to be there early, setting up those feathers so she could have an effective team fight. And then Willaris, look at him playing this so carefully, just being that little bit of bait. You could tell they were not there in that team fight. Again, that super close Pre-Seeker. I was freaked out when I saw it. I even sort of disrupted you a little bit there when I was in place. And now we'll get back into the game.
I gotta say though, Outlaws in this series so far are really surprising us. Yes, they were the first seed, but they're making bold calls. They are committing everything. And this is another fine example. They've started Baron. They pull off of it, just as I'm complimenting them.
Yeah.
But they're ready to force the fight straight after.
I love the use of Willaris' ultimates. He always uses them before team fights really break out to basically have that control or whittle someone down. Typically with Lucian, he does more damage when he is actually in the middle of a team fight, not using that ultimate. So you want that either towards the end of a team fight or at the beginning, and Willaris is using it correctly.
I mean, I do want to praise Abyss's early game. They did shut down Curse really well. They secured first brick, and it did seem like this was their game to have. But a couple good macro rotations coming out of Outlaws, and Willaris picked 1, 2, 3, 4 kills. And this guy is now a monster. 5-0 and 2, almost has his Phantom Dancer, I would presume.
Yeah.
They are looking for the Baron. They did bait out the Baron
damage
TP.
potion.
He realizes that this game is over very soon. And I love this. A lot of pro players don't recognize this, but when you do have a lead, you can go for the for an elixir and just push and win off the next team fight. This next team fight will be around the Baron pit, and they will look to just roll this team fight and secure the Baron, and then the game.
And I want to actually bring that all around. The reason why you have Laris having such a free and open game, because they put so much attention on the Curse, and he's still relevant. He had a hard time, but you can see that he's managed to pick up enough items that he can go into a team fight effectively. He uses a potion. Laris wants to fight.
And he is 2 levels ahead of Paprise. That was with hardly any culling and a bit of auto. This Willaris character is pretty big. He's been in the OCS for like 3 splits now. He was part of 4-Not when they came back into the OCS. He's improved. You got to say he has improved. Cheers.
Yeah. I remember versing this guy in solo queue about a year ago, and he was alright. He was alright, but I versed him recently, and watching him here today, this guy's improved over time, and it's hard to improve when you get to the top tier levels of play.
To be honest, I used to play on the same team as him.
You did?
At one point in time, before he was at this level, me and him.
Are you about to call him terrible on air?
I didn't say he was terrible.
He was terrible, but now he's alright.
I said before he was amazing.
But I mean, look.
There's a difference. I never said he was terrible.
Outlaws have been boot camping for the full
Look at the
2
damage.
Oh my
weeks,
god.
and it's really showing right now. Abyss Academy, what have they been doing? Well, Outlaws, you can see
He's
right now, forcing the
Oh.
engagement. Willaris goes way too deep. He's going to pay for it. Big shutdown coming through. Outlaws lose K-Pop, yet another member. As Swathe forces the ulti, does not get rendered. And it will be 2 going down with Outlaws forcing too soon.
A bit of overconfidence coming out of Willaris. He does use his summon spell Flash to get over that wall, but the fight is still going on.
Shogath is trying to commit and really not going to stop the ultimate to come through. Doesn't nom down Victor. And Abyss Academy are living on no health.
Rain is
for
going
no
big.
longer. Looking for the Rens. Rain is going to follow up. KO is next on the list. A double kill for Rain. He goes down. It's Scam to the rescue. Who does he go for? No mana, no worries. I wish I could say that. But an ace for Abyss Academy with 0 health.
Abyss were able to make that work, and it comes back to Willaris being a little bit overzealous, using that flash beforehand. When I say a little bit, I mean a lot. He was in a really bad position, and that allowed Abyss to get back into this game. It was a good cleanup. It was a good sort of fix-up from the Outlaws to force that fight afterwards. And this is the team play we're talking about. Willaris, as you can see, he's on a high. The blood is boiling. He wants to force those fights, and he flashes directly into 3 members. No front line to help him out. Immediately, Abyss pounce on this situation, continue this team fight. This is going to be a long replay if we're going to continue to see everything come through. I like how they've cut it up.
The fight continues, goes on. A good rupture onto Frey. We see KO gets free reign, a lot of damage out. And I really want to make notice of how Rek'Sai has flash here. You can tell that they are looking for this turn. He does it too late here. KO ends up falling down. You could only think if he did this flash counter-engage a bit sooner, would 3 people have survived, and this would have been a better trade.
Also got to say, in that fight, the gravity fields were really well placed by Victor. They were turning a lot of those fights.
Yeah, I would also like to praise, as we do see a whiff from Kuden, but I was about to praise Kuden's Rakan in that last team fight. He did him immediately pounce on Willaris, punished him for flashing over, and soaked up a lot of damage.
Yeah, Outlaws want to make something happen off
the
fact that
they love this Baron
down.
play. They are looking for a turn. They are still 3k up, but that gold lead has shrunk. We can see this Victor is starting to come online. Their scaling composition that we keep talking about from Abyss is starting to become an issue. But they have started up the Baron, and we can see how much damage Willaris is doing.
And great culling to force Kuden out. He's at half health. Willaris taking on 3 members. Scam ready to find the engage. Outlaws get looped up.
Frey's looking big right
Willaris
now.
on the side. Double knock up.
Great
The
Chaos
wombo
Storm.
combo. Frey's Chaos Storm is shredding down. And everything is coming into place for Abyss Academy. A fight they wanted. We'll take it, they say. The counter engage. Massive. Outlaws fall down. Triple kill. And a clean house from Abyss Academy.
And this game has been flipped on its head. We definitely talked about this Victor scaling and becoming an issue. He has gone for the Zhonyas and a defensive item choice in his boots, but the amount of damage he outputted in that team fight was ridiculous.
And what comes down to it, because you said it was ridiculous, but it was also that positioning that he managed to make work. There's the OPL mid laner that we saw. The fact that he had the knowledge to come in from behind. I saw him go for it, jumps in, no hesitation, fantastic Chaos Storm, and he makes it work. And here's the team fight we're looking at. So Outlaws want this team fight because they know Kuden's ultimate is down. As you can see, they work their way into the coach, into that initial...
Look at this Chaos Storm,
It's just ridiculous. That Chaos Storm is ridiculous. I wanted to say they make their way into the choke point, but what ended up happening was Frey comes in and absolutely destroys them.
I mean, perfect play coming out of Frey. I do want to make notice that is as a mid laner, it is a very hard thing that he did there. He got knocked up by Jarvan, but knew that all he really had to do was get that Chaos Storm out. It didn't have to do any initial damage, but it did just push forward and hit the Kalista and Lucian and secure them that team fight. He has picked up the Rylai's, so these AD carries aren't going to be as mobile. I would have to say that this game has switched and completely gone in Abyss's favor.
Big swing.
Abyss Academy are 1,000 gold ahead, but at the moment they have a lot of turrets to knock down, a lot of opportunities. The next dragon is live in a minute. We are going to see a play around it. We've had 2 Oceans already for Outlaws, so they can sustain these fights. But Abyss Academy, when they press the go button, it's on. And I have to say, this series has been so close so far. These teams are so evenly matched. That's why they're our top 2. Abyss Academy will take this turret. We're now getting closer.
And I don't want to be... I don't want to say anything too, like... unfortunate, but
negative.
Like, this really just came back to Alaris just being overconfident. And we were praising him and how great he was playing 5-0 and 1 on the Lucian. Was 1v3 as we saw around the Baron pit. Too much damage for them to really deal with, but that one flash over the blue wall has really punished them, and this game has become a lot more difficult for them.
Yeah, you could see it from the idea that the momentum just completely shifted away from Outlaws. They were still trying to play as if they were far ahead, and it was not going to work out. And Abyss Academy understand their win condition, realize that they've got the more solid team towards that late game. And if they play the chess game right with these engages, it's going to happen again and again. And here's a big engage.
Scam's forcing again. Kuden finds a great ultimate. Rain still kiting in the backside, but the flash forward from Swade could be good. Willaris still doing a lot of DPS. Scam gets out with the help. A better fight for Outlaws as they're kiting forward now. KO will find a good blade caller, but who does he get? Doesn't use it. It'll be simply the one, and they deny away the Infernal Drake.
That was a really nice team fight coming out of Outlaws. They played around the Chaos Storm a lot better. It didn't really do too much in that team fight, but this split push Trundle should not go unnoticed. With the Baron, Bob has taken top inhibitor tower. This is another win condition for Abyss Academy that we outlined in the pick ban phase.
And what I like about this win condition is Paparize is now at the point where he should be able to reliably deal with Valaris. And because he's got the gauntlet now, because he's got the Ninja Tabby, Valaris shouldn't be able to deal with his split, because once that frozen domain comes down, once he puts up that pillar, he will be able to chase him down. Valaris is a very mobile champion in his own right. The Lucian is very slippery, but it is such a heavy lockdown with that cone.
You know what? You know why Abyss are winning this game?
You're about to tell us.
Because they have Ninja Tabby.
Hey,
because
they learned.
They no longer have 3 Merc treads. They all realize. I reckon their coach told them, why are you building Merc treads into a double AD carry composition? You can see all 3. I mean, I would love to see the Ninja Tabby on the Zyre as well, but that's a bit of a stretch. But we do see the front line picking up the Ninja Tabby. Does reduce a lot of damage coming out of the Lucian and Kalista. And this game is still in their favor. 3,000 gold up.
What an incredible performance in Game 2. Mendrix Abyss Academy really holding the cards here. But you just saw that last fight. You saw what Outlaws can do if they do find the missing pieces.
I really want to start talking about another win condition Outlaws have. Yes, the late game may be in Abyss's favor, but if they're not watching their objective play, the fact is Rain is so good at neutral objective control. If they are not on top of that Baron, if they're not on top of that Dragon, at any moment in time they can make a move towards it, they'll have the rend advantage. That's basically an extra smite. Not only that, they've got a Cho'Gath as well. We're talking Feast on top of the smite, on top of the rend. They will not be able to get to those objectives unless they have the jump on it. And if that is an Elder that comes out next, or if they do get the next Elder from that, 3 Drakes available for Outlaws. That is a big win condition.
I mean, it's very unfortunate for them that they didn't get Mountain Drakes, because that would secure their win condition of objective control. But
Swathe is caught out, actually can't get out, so Willaris will take him down. The jungler goes down again from Abyss Academy, and now it's a 4v5.
This could be really good for Outlaws. It's a 4v5 for the next 40 seconds. They are going to be looking to continue pushing down this tower, but they are versing a Victor, who is probably one of the most frustrating mid lane champions to siege against. And what a great route coming in.
Oh my god! Rain is destroyed out of nowhere. Kuden puts the speed button on and drives towards Scam Diggity. He's going to be the next. There's no way he survives this. A good gravity field to ensure his death is ensured, I guess. Paprise will have to flash out. That's the response of the bottom lane of Outlaws, and my English needs work.
I mean, what great game knowledge, I suppose, coming out of KO to see that he could get that root down. Rain not respecting the root. The snare coming out of Xayah still has the cleanse up, instantly followed up from Frey's combo, and instantly pops and secures them a tier 2 mid tower. So this game is still going on. 33 minutes, coming on 34. As we said, the scaling composition is on Abyss Academy side.
Oh, Valaris has that damage though.
Yeah, look, he is still a big machine and capable of following this up. He uses the culling onto Kuden. They're still committing. Abyss Academy kite back and
just can't chase that.
It's very difficult.
Rukan just covered half your screen there in 2 seconds.
I do want to go back to those team fights before. The reason Abyss Academy were able to make that work and the reason why they were so aggressive in that play. Immediately, there were pings going down in the top lane. Curse said, I need help. Someone come support me. You've got the kill. Keep the siege up. Let's actually see if we can deal with this Trundle and use that to our advantage as the next bigger buffs come up. They knew Valaris decided to go back and make the retreat. Immediately, it's a 3-on-3. No longer is the pressure in place for them if they do make one mistake, that they'll be taken out with that extra advantage, and they make it work, and it's all from that lockdown by KO.
Baron buff has just respawned, and we are going to see both of these teams contesting for Baron control. Lucian is in base, but Abyss Academy don't know that. I think they're going to be using this Trundle split push and just hoping that this Trundle will be able to get a tower or two, but it seems Outlaws are starting up the Baron again.
This is very ambitious. Rain is just hitting away, but they disengage straight after. Scam Diggity going to force the engage once again. Sway getting hit with spears. Great quickness. Knocks up the Kalista.
Great damage from KO.
Redemption will bring them back in. Curse is in the middle of 4 members. Survives for a long time. What are they using on him? KO gets a double root. Scam Diggity has to run. I don't think this is what Outlaws want, but who's alive? It's Valaris to kite back, trying to be the hero that Outlaws need, but they lose 3 only at the cost of Paprise. This will be their Baron.
What an all-star performance coming out of KO. You could see he 1v3 at the other side of that team fight. That team fight was split into 2 sides. Willaris forced out by the Chaos Storm out of Frey. I was questioning it, that this Chaos Storm was the winning condition in these team fights, but it shows that this scaling Xayah is becoming an issue, and I think with this next Baron play, they can secure maybe double inhib as top inhibitor is open, but we'll see in the next 3 minutes.
You have to look at Paprise in that team fight as well. He knew exactly what was happening or what was going down. He used his TP early, so he was able to get into that big team fight. You see they forced it there in place. The TP is already completed for Paprise, and it's still channeling for Cho'Gath, and he's in the middle of a team fight. There was a solid unit in place. As you mentioned, look at KO. He's got that great positioning on the side, manages to hold on, but this is 2 units trying to crash in, and they've already lost their big tank. They're not able to get that big engage that they wanted to go for. Now that they're divided, it's just a matter of conquering for Abyss, and they're able to pick it up.
I love this. Whenever you play a game in League of Legends, you want your 2 carries to be together and focusing the same targets. We saw Victor and Xayah both sticking together, and no one could really push forward in that team fight because they played it so well.
And I love how you point out KO there, because KO pushes one back, goes to the other side. He's taking Rain and K-pop, goes back to the fight. On point are Abyss Academy this game. They have just picked up the Elder Drake, and they've pushed that turret to ensure a 10k gold lead. Outlaws, next fight could be game.
And a bit of deja vu here, but more advantageous for Abyss Academy. The fact that they've actually got a full team with Baron, they've already picked up the Elder Drake, denying Outlaws from getting that big win condition is going to be so tough. And now you can see the sieges in place, but they don't really have the best composition to deal with it. Valaris is not even there. The trigger's going to be pulled soon.
The thing is they know Lucian, someone has to deal with the top lane top lane minions. And Willaris just went up there. They had a small window to get damage onto the tower. They didn't get much done. The Janus shields are being very nice, but they are being engaged on.
Another fight, because Outlaws always want to fight. Paprise is on the side. Willaris free hitting, but look at that quickness. KO's going to town. Big moment for Abyss Academy as the Zaya and Rakan, the Lovebirds, are carrying this. K-Pop picks up Kuden. Could be the response from Outlaws, but Curse can't get anywhere near Swathe. 4 are down, and Abyss Academy may have just taken game 2.
And that is definitely game. I mean, what a great engage coming out of this, coming out of Kuden's Rakan. We questioned it. We questioned his gameplay a bit in the mid game, but he's had 2 great performances, punishing Willaris for his confident flash forward play, and then again secures them the win.
And what I like about this build from Rakan here is he didn't go for Ardent Sensor this time around.
6 convergence.
He managed to actually go for that tankier build, and you can actually see how that ended up being more effective when he was going for those engages. I mean, he could survive, wasn't getting deleted by Willaris every single time he was going in early for it. So a bit of a turnaround performance coming through from Abyss, and I think it does come down to that fact that, yes, they may have lost in the mid lane, but they were winning everywhere else. And that meant that Willaris couldn't really pop off, and that one mistake allowed the turn.
I mean, we saw that they did get an early lead through top lane. They secured Curse. They pushed him down. Trundle was their win condition. That fell away quite quickly as Willaris was immediately 4-0 after 10 minutes. It really just comes down to that one flash forward over that wall. Right after we were praising this guy, talking about how Willaris has improved over the past year, makes one small error that ends up costing, maybe arguably costing them the game.
It was incredible, that fight, that Outlaws pushing the limits too hard, too fast, and that bites them in the ass. Again, that's what we said in the first game. Like, Abyss Academy got bit in the ass. Like, second game, Outlaws, you got bit in the ass. So gotta stop saying ass.
I mean, that's kind of like how... I don't want to trash talk OCS or anything, but like
you're about to anyway.
I am about to. I'm
going to stand over. I'm going to stand over this side.
Cheers, get it, man. What's up?
No. But I mean, like this, like over cocky players. What you come back over here? This overconfident players, something that can be expected from these OCS players. They're not used to the competitive stage, and you are one game up. You're 5-0-1. He was probably over the moon. Great performance. He should not take it too seriously. It's probably the worst thing you could do at this point. He's probably very aware that that flash forward did cost his team that one team fight, and that's something that you just need to let go into game 3.
Abyss Academy, though, picking up that second game. I'm so glad we got a series on our hand. I'm so glad it's not going to be 3-0. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to go to a 5-minute break. But when we return, this neck and neck best of 5 will continue with game number 3. Or not.
Watch this level 1, because